If you add new starters to the sales teams around the world, we need to give them guidance along the machine configuration. CPQ is the long-awaited answer to those challenges. The Handtmann group of companies consists of 6 different companies, which all operate individually. Our team is part of the filling and portioning unit, which is the second biggest company within the Handtmann family. When you think of our individual standalone machines, they might not look complex at first, but in order to support our customers in the best possible way, we often see the need of connecting our machines to complex line solutions. Our customers could either be traditional craftsmen, such as bakers or butchers, but they could also operate with huge manufacturing plants, so on an industrial level. I think when we're looking back on the development we took over the last years, it's fair to say that digitalization can be seen as an enabler for further growth. As a company, we want to grow. And also, in order to fulfill our customers' needs, we continuously add to our portfolio. Before we started to work with Elfsquad, our offer processes there were real time intense and complex. So based on the customer's needs, the sales guys or back office colleague would start to go looking for the right options in our price book. It's a book consisting of many pages. So they would try to find the right option and copy and paste it to a Word or Excel file. Due to the fact that there were no security mechanisms to ensure that the solution is correct and working, we always had to involve real product experts from application management who would ensure that the solution is also working properly at the customer. For a salesperson, it's quite difficult to stay on top of the many options that we offer. Besides that, if you add new starters to the sales teams around the world, we need to give them guidance along the machine configuration. CPQ is the long-awaited answer to those challenges. Also, in the light of the many challenges that Elfsquad identified during that project, it was suggested to partner up with Walpole. And for us, that kind of really was the point where we said, let's do this, because we had a refreshing new CPQ tool and years of CPQ experience from the Walpole side.
I'm Ingmar, I'm Senior Managing Partner at Walpole Partnership, implementation partner for Elfsquad CPQ, dealing with enterprise customers. So we at Walpole experienced the collaboration between Elfsquad, Handtmann and Walpole as a very good, constructive, iterative journey for a very strong CPQ foundation implementation, and had to also find our way together in order to strike the right balance, in order to come up with the most optimal working team to manage towards success.
There are obviously a couple of things we wanted to address with the implementation of a CPQ tool. So one way we definitely wanted to address is the way we present our offers to the customers. Beside that, obviously, we were searching for a tool with a strong configurator that allows for a 0% error rate. This is what we are striving for. Other than that, CPQ wouldn't really make sense. We also wanted to manage the solution self-sufficiently without having to employ 10 developers just working for our CPQ tool.
In each CPQ implementation, particularly for an enterprise customer like Handtmann, keeping a scope and sticking to it for a first phase implementation is crucial. It's back to the principles of implementing first standards, not trying to deal perhaps with every single requirement that the business teams have come up with.
One of the things we are really proud of, and this is an early achievement for us, is that we could integrate CPQ with our CRM solution for one of our pilot countries. And for the users, the process starts in CRM, and by the time they need to create the offer, they just jump to Elfsquad and do the configuration. The offer document is transferred back to CRM, from where they continue their sales process. We had really intense workshops at the beginning of the whole implementation process. I think we left the first workshop with Walpole with an action list consisting of 27 action items. So we also went for a scoping approach. We said, okay, we have a vision of where we want to go with CPQ. We know if we want to fulfill that vision immediately, it would take us years to develop the tool internally. That's what you don't want. You want to give 80% of the solution to the users and based on the feedback from the markets, further develop the solution. Besides that, I think the CPQ implementation represents a major change for your sales teams. And if you're striving for high user adoption, you should definitely spend some time to conduct change management initiatives around the implementation of CPQ. What I appreciate personally about Elfsquad is that the team is really willing to further develop their baby. So they are not stubborn or arrogant and say, well, it's always been like that, we're not going to change it. They are really open, they listen to their customers' needs, and then based on those needs, they further develop the solution. If you're at the beginning of your individual CPQ journey, I would recommend not to underestimate the weight of a CPQ implementation. You need to have the time to thoroughly understand the business processes that you build your CPQ solution on. This is not an additional task for anyone, so make sure you have a dedicated team that has the time to first of all understand your business processes, understand the need of your target group, and then also build a functioning system.